So the next thing we're going to look at is the radiator. I bought a brand new one. Only trouble is it's damaged on the bottom outlet. So what I've done, if I can find it, I've turned up this tapered shaft, which hopefully should pull that back with very little damage. So it's starting to get there. Let's give it a bit more. I think that's as good as we're going to get. So for a 200 TDI engine in a Series 3 with a Series 3 radiator, I've designed and had manufactured this bottom hose, which will go on there like that, and that's the foam. And basically that hose is to align the radiator to the water pump, which sits here like that. And that's basically all there is to it. It's made out of silicon, so it should last considerably longer than a standard rubber hose. So I've only ever done one of these, and that worked out alright, so that's that. So if I remember back to October 2015, I think it was, or 2014, when we did the TDI conversion, I modified the front panel, and this is the original front panel off the original Land Rover. I modified it so you could have the intercooler, which is there, in here as well. Now that was all well and good at the start, but this engine had to come to bits 2 or 3 times after I did it for various numbers of reasons, and it meant nothing was going back quite how I'd intended it to. So everything was all loose, it was sloppy, and it was just a general cock up. It was also a stupid idea because by doing that you're restricting a quarter pretty much of the radiator airflow, because it's all going into that. So there's also the electronic fan that will have to come off and be fitted on the new radiator. So I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to scrap it because it is a good front panel, but I'm not going to use it yet. I can repair that, put it back to how it should be, and we'll use it if it ever has to come off again. I've also got another spare front panel on the shelf down there that I can use for any spare parts. So if we go over to the bench, I've got the other front panel out, and then we'll assemble it up. So this is the front panel that we fitted in 2011. It's possibly one of the best examples of a front panel that hasn't started to disintegrate. It has gone a bit, but it could be a lot worse. This cable here, that's for the Kenlow hot start, which we don't use anymore, so that can come off and be put into storage. There's a bracket there, that's nothing to worry about, but in general it's in quite good shape. I can assemble the radiator on and then do any painting and rust prevention afterwards. So I hear you asking why I'm fitting a brand new radiator, and I'm not doing this to brag about how much money I've got. I'm doing it for 2 simple steps, 2 simple reasons. One reason is when I cut this hole out for the TDI conversion with the intercooler, I also had to modify the radiator. So I cut the corner off of there, and in doing so I cut through the frame. To do it, I cut through the frame itself, meaning that there was actually nothing left of the frame. So obviously that is not good, not a good idea at all. So, and this radiator, it's not the best example of a radiator, because it's a very old-fashioned design. If we're looking closely, if I stand out the light, how the fins go across and the cores are going up, then compare them to the new radiator. And on the new radiator, the cores are vertical with the fins in between each core. It's much more efficient, it's how modern radiators are made, and I know from experience you can convert an original one for £140-ish. That one, as I've just said, is not worth reconditioning because someone's cut an hole in it. So I bought this one cheap, which was damaged at £70 with the bottom outlet that we looked at earlier. I've put it roughly in position now, and the front panel's pretty much ready to be bolted on, I think. So I think what we'll do next, because I've tightened these up for now, but I've got a couple that I still need to put in, so I can do that on the vehicle. I think I can go ahead and do that. So this is where a spot of juggling comes in, because I've got 3 bolts, 3 rubber washers and 2 brackets all to get under here, with the front panel on the top. It's only me, so I can't ask for any help. Can't even find a piece of rag. There we go. So I'm just going to clean the chassis off a bit. Put that to one side. Right, so where are we? So they are going to go on there like that. And then the brackets go on the top, if I remember right. But that's what happens. So I've now got to drop this in place, put the middle bolt in. A bit of copper grease on that, I think. So this into place. That goes pretty much on there. I can use the top hose to support it for me. And then I want this through here. So that's the first one in position. And the nut. Goes on there like so. And what I can do is I can push the bracket under there like that. Get the bolt. I lost the bolt. There it is. So now we're just looking at the bottom hose. That will finish this part of the project off for today. Obviously we've got the cam belt cover on here, the water pump and the bottom of the radiator. The water pump outlet is here and the radiator is there. So there's no hose that I've ever come across that will go from there to there. So I had to get a bit creative, and anyone that looked at the hose earlier when we looked at the damaged radiator that was thinking what I was on, wondering what I was on when I thought up of that, well, now you can see that it's actually a pretty good idea. So I'm just going to drop the Jubilee clip on there, and this will go onto there. With it being silicone, it goes on with pretty much with ease, no faffing about. Bring the Jubilee clip. It's not a very good Jubilee clip, that. It's quite a cheap one. In fact, I'll change that. I don't like it. So this is it now in place. Looks like it was made for the job. It's clear of the axle, and it's silicone, so theoretically it should last a lot longer than more conventional rubber hoses, and I can supply these to you for £60. If you leave me your email address, then I can sort something out for you if you're interested. So that's that. So next time we should be draining the gearbox oil, rear prop shaft on, and then I'll be fitting the interior back out and doing the wiring at the front, put the wings back on, and then I would like to get it sanded down and painted if that's possible, but I want this back on the road for within a couple of weeks, which I very much doubt that will happen, but we'll have to wait and see. So we'll continue next time.